My 31/F husband 33/M named our daughter after his high school sweetheart. How can I cope with this in a way that does not ruin our marriage? I met my husband about almost 10 years ago. He is from Mediterranean Europe. I won't specify it further for privacy reasons. He was doing a master's program at the time and I was doing my bachelor's at the same university. We started seeing each other shortly thereafter. When I was about 24, to be honest, I don't remember exactly. We had a discussion about potential baby names, because our relationship was clearly heading in a more serious direction and we wanted to preempt any potential drama that might arise. He came up with the idea that if it was a girl, then he'd have full discretion over giving her a traditional name from his culture, and if it was a boy then I'd have the same. At the time, I had no issues with this. To be fair, even now I don't really do. We married when we were 27 and 29, respectively, and because both of us were in a nice place professionally and financially, we stopped using protection. We did not immediately want to have children, but we figured it's easier to let nature do its thing than to have to resort to expensive and stressful methods later. I got pregnant and I gave birth to our lovely daughter 3 months ago. I held up my end of the bargain, and she got the name my husband chose, let's say, Anna. Last week, my sister-in-law 29/F was visiting us. She's never really liked me, but since I've only seen her twice, this was the third time, I figured that it's just the way she is. I have enough drama queens in my family, so I decided to put up with her backhanded compliments while she's there. Anyway, she asked about the baby's name, and when I told her she just smirked and said, "Well, of course." I asked what did she mean by that, and then she told me derisively that my husband's high school girlfriend has the same name and that they have been together since when they were 14 until my husband emigrated at 21, and that his parents really liked her and would have preferred her to me. I had to go and feed my baby, so it was left at that, but it kind of kept eating away at me, so later that day I went through my husband's phone. He does not have a lot of friends on social media, so it was not really difficult to find his ex-girlfriend on his contact list. Apparently, they have been chatting, not every day but a few times a week. I speak his language a bit but I can't read it, so I took screenshots and forwarded them to myself to translate with Google Translate later. Obviously I could not do this with all messages. I just did the last few months. It was nothing out of the ordinary, no flirty stuff, some professional things, some general chit-chat, some memes that I don't really understand even with the translation. I know that I am acting and feeling irrationally, because I have no real reason to suspect any foul play on my husband's behalf, and I really have no reason to complain about him, and I don't mind the name itself either. I actually think it's cute and my family likes it as well. But I am afraid that I might throw this at my husband if we have an argument. Admittedly, I sometimes still lash out due to my hormones being all over the place, even if I immediately regret it, and that if I can't handle it, it could potentially harm our marriage as well. I don't want him to know that I know, because we've agreed to give each other enough space to have our own social circles, and also because I feel like I've violated his trust by checking his phone. So how can I cope with all this in the most risk-averse way possible? Edit, because it might not be clear, we live about 6,000 miles from his home country, so I only met his family once, except for his sister who has visited him twice.